Sorry. Yo, Calvin, yes,
Pause.
I have a question. Before everything else, even before you introduce yourself, what's it to the heart? Like, do you ever remove it?
I do sometimes, but it became like a cartoon character type of a thing, where if you wear the same thing every day, people learn to expect less. So ukitokea vile uko, then you just, it becomes like a signature. Not to mention that I'm having a very bad hair day. My name is Calvin Ombogo. I am the technical director at Khweva. There's many ways you can look at it. The simplest version is it's just a name that works. It's a few syllables, it's easy to remember. But it was kind of like a combination of many different ideas. So there is the musical correlation with the whole Khweva and the note. And then apparently someone did some research somewhere, and in some Bantu African language, sijui kama ni Swana or whatever, Khweva means to go forward.
Khweva with a K?
K, yeah. Oh, I think with the same spelling, I believe, if I'm not wrong. And then also, there's something tied to the quiver of a bow and arrow. So it was all a whole mesh of things. And then, arrows only go in one direction. So come and if you're going straight, if you're going forward, you're just going forward. Khweva is basically a creative hub. Primarily, what we do is performing arts. And you can't do performing arts alone. You need people. You need different people with different skill sets to come together under the same idea and to create something. And everyone brings their expertise, their skill set, so that we can make something collective together. So performing arts, we're talking about dancing, we're talking about acting, we're talking about singing, instrumentalists, everything. So primarily what we did for the first few years of our existence is theatrical musicals. Whatever you think when you hear musicals, yes, the acting, singing, being extra dramatic. Yes, maybe, hopefully not exactly that, but towards that direction. Hopefully, I don't talk badly about Glee or High School Musical. On paper, 2021 would be our 5th year, but we've been struggling with COVID, which has taken away almost 1.5 of those. So we're counting 3 years. So we started in January 2017. So 2017, 18, 19 in completion. And then operations kind of took a hit and slowed down in 2020. So we had to readjust our ambitions a little. Okay, so originally the plan was always to create a bigger space where we can tap into all of the talents of all the people who pass through Khweva. The shows usually take anywhere between 3 to 6 months to put together. That's a very long time to actualize a concept. So in between, we have all these people with all these talents. So we needed to figure out a way to help them to keep creating, even when we are not on stage. So we have very talented actors, singers, musicians, instrumentalists. So the natural progression from stage was having your own creative hub space. So that's how we ended up building Khweva Studios. The plans were kind of rushed a little because of the COVID pandemic. So while we were not preparing for stage, then we took the time, we pooled all the resources we had, and then we put this place together. So originally, it was mainly for our guys to just have a space they can come in and create what they need to create whenever they want to create it. But it's very hard to close off a space like this once you've set it up. It's one of those build it and they will come. So you have your space, and just as we had hoped, other creative people have found their way here, including the Rave. So we're happy to have you guys. Once upon a time, yes, but there are people who are much better at it than I am, so we leave it to them. I try to do as much as behind the scenes stuff as I can. I'm very shy. There's definitely stuff we could have done better, because there's no blueprint really for the way to do what we're doing. There's no template. We didn't really have an example to follow, which maybe has slowed down our progress, but has also been good in that we probably took risks that we wouldn't have if we knew better. Because if we knew what we were getting ourselves into, we probably would have taken a step back, because it's a bit daunting sometimes. So we've been learning as we go, and we're happy with the mistakes we've made. We've learned a lot. Contrary to popular belief, being a creative is a very mental exercise. You need to be smart to pull off certain things, or to at least understand how certain things work. So we are really lucky to have those big brains in that sector to at least help us. Plus, I believe no one is one thing. No one is just scientific. No one is just artistic. Some people are better into tapping into one or the other, but I believe you're better off if you have a balance. So if you can balance your technical thinking side and your creative thinking side, I think it's right brain, left brain type of a thing. So I feel like people are more holistic if they can embrace all sides of their personalities. We've been blessed to have some really cool guys come through here. Latest one being Crystal Asige, who brought Lillian Muller with her as well. And we have met some really interesting people through that. One of my standout ones still is there's a girl, her name is Kasha Soma. So she came in just a few weeks after we had set up. She came in, she did the thing, and she left almost immediately. So she was leaving the country for her further studies. And she came in with another friend of ours called Andrew Muyuro. He's a guitarist. So they recorded a cover of this song called Collide by Tiana Major 9 and Earth Gang. I think it was a soundtrack for, what's the name of this movie? Queen and Slim.
Yeah.
So, Nim Swahili. So what she did, she translated it into Swahili. So there's a Swahili version of that song out there. And we were lucky to be the first ones to hear it. It was out there. Those guys recognized it. So that was like one of the first times where we saw that we can really do something and provide a platform for young guys to be seen. Yes, we've been focusing a lot on the collaborative stuff. We have plans for when we're allowed to put up shows again. So we're just doing some of that stuff behind the scenes. Before we get to those bigger ones, there are a few short films in production right now that we are working to launch for you guys as well. You can find us everywhere at Khweva, Khweva, on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. It's all the same everywhere. We're happy to have you guys. Hopefully, you've opened the door for even more people to come through.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. So.